Hello, my name is Shauna Lake. If we haven't met and we haven't previously worked together, or you haven't seen any of my other videos, I am a human resources consultant and a career consultant. My company is called Deep End Talent Strategies, or DEETS for short. And I have a Facebook group called the Deep End Job Search to help people at various stages of their career journey, and some who have recently found new positions, and they can encourage and provide support for everyone else in the group. So on the individual side of career coaching and career consulting, I work with people across the full spectrum of careers and industries, and I work with people virtually around the country. And a lot of the common questions I get about resumes and LinkedIn are: how similar should my resume be to my LinkedIn profile? And should I put my resume on my LinkedIn profile? I have a cheat sheet that can help you map your resume to your LinkedIn profile if you're not quite sure where to put certain fields or how similar they should be, and where they should be a little bit different from one another. So shoot me a note in the comments. I'll check the comments across different platforms, and I'm happy to share that cheat sheet with you if you're interested in that. But what I want to spend most of our time today on is going into LinkedIn and talking about 3 areas where you can use your resume if you choose to. So one is putting your resume on the main page of your LinkedIn profile. So it's publicly available for people to see, and they could potentially download. The second is to put it what I call behind the scenes inside of your profile. And that allows recruiters to find your resume, and it allows you to do an easy apply option to jobs that are posted on LinkedIn. Many of them will allow you to apply directly from LinkedIn with the saved resume. There are pros and cons to doing that. I'm going to dive into that. And then I'll show you actually how you attach your resume on that behind the scenes of your LinkedIn profile. It's not completely intuitive, and a lot of people kind of struggle with that. Then I'm actually going to talk about the concept of easy applying and when that's a good idea, and perhaps when you might not want to do that. So we'll talk about those 3 things, pros and cons. And my goal is to give you knowledge and tools so you can decide what's the best approach for you, because we're all a little bit different, and our approach to the job search is should be personalized a little bit. So let me start with showing my screen and showing the option of putting your resume on the front page of your LinkedIn profile. If you aren't sure how to get to your profile, you go to this Me button, drop down to View Profile. And I'm at my profile, but it would take you to your profile if you weren't already there. And there's the section called Featured, where you can have links to different forms of media. You could actually put a PDF or a Word document of your resume here. And how you would do that is you go to Add Profile section, and under Featured, you can do posts, articles, links, or media, which could be different file formats, PDF, a Word document, etc. So let me talk about when this is a good idea and perhaps when you would want to reconsider. If you have an online portfolio, perhaps you're a graphic designer, you're in a creative field, you're a web designer, and you have samples of your work, it would be fantastic to put examples of that on your LinkedIn profile for people to see. If you have selected accomplishments, maybe awards that you've won, certificates, putting those on the front of your profile is also a great idea. I have a personal bias against actually putting your full resume on the front of your LinkedIn profile. This may sound a little bit harsh, but I honestly think it comes across as maybe a little bit desperate. And I'm sorry, that sounds really harsh. There are some people who do it and it works well for them. But I like putting other things that highlight your accomplishments and your experiences, just not the actual resume itself. If you do decide to put your resume on your profile, it's okay. I have teenagers. I'm used to people not taking my advice. No, I'm just kidding. It's completely up to you. It is a personal preference. If you do, please, please, please do not put your street address on your resume. That's actually never necessary unless it's a federal resume. If it's a private sector resume, having your city and your state is almost always all that you need. When you fill out an online application, you'll give them your full street address. It's a security risk, in my opinion, to have it on your resume, and it doesn't add any value. People don't need to know exactly where you live. And if you have your resume on the front of your profile, any LinkedIn user can see it, and you may even come up on some Google searches for people who don't even have a LinkedIn account. So please don't put your street address on anything on the front of your public profile of LinkedIn. If you do decide to put any accomplishment sheets or portfolio or resume on the front of your profile, I would use a PDF because there are different version issues. We all have different versions of Microsoft Office or Publisher or whatever program you're using. If you save it as a PDF, you're sure that the people who download your document or open it will see it exactly how you intended. And that's exactly what a PDF does. So I would use a PDF if you decide to do that. So that's my speech about putting your resume or any documents on your actual public profile of LinkedIn. Let's switch gears and talk about putting your resume behind the scenes, which I do think is a good idea if you are open to recruiters in your job search. So how you do that, let me walk you through that because this is not always clear for folks. You go back to the drop-down arrow, and instead of going to view profile, which is what we just did, you're going to go to settings and privacy. And you can scroll all the way down until you get into job seeking preferences, or you can use this menu on the left, which is a cheat sheet, and you go to job seeking preferences. The first choice here is job application settings, and that's where we're going to go to access your resume or to upload your resume. If you are actively in the job market, chances are you want your profile to be open to recruiters. So you can come right in here, the second option, which is let recruiters know that you're open to opportunities. When you select that, and you have now anybody who has recruiter access to LinkedIn can see your profile and can contact you if they want to talk to you about an opening that they have, maybe even something that's not currently posted, which is a way to actually have your profile working for you in the job market. You may be contacted for jobs where there's very little competition because they has not been publicly posted. There is a risk if you're currently employed and you have your profile turned on to recruiters. If there are people inside of your current company with recruiter access to LinkedIn, they may see that you are open to recruiters. Now, you could just kind of, if you were confronted, say, gee, I didn't know, thanks for telling me, I'll make sure I turn that off. You could downplay it. Or you could say, yes, here are some things that are driving me to look externally, and it could actually lead to a really helpful conversation or something that's been on your mind, and it could be a nice conversation starter. But you have to decide if you're comfortable doing that, if you're currently employed. LinkedIn does work to try to limit recruiters whose employer's name matches yours from seeing your profile, but there is no guarantee. So I would go into it assuming they can see your profile. But if you have your profile turned on to recruiters, which is here, or actually from the main page of your profile, there's usually a button right underneath your name and your picture and your headline that gives you the opportunity to turn your profile on to recruiters there as well. There's like 3 different places where you can do it. They want to make sure you can do that easily. The next step then is going in here to job application settings and uploading a resume. I would also, back to what I said earlier about using a PDF, if you put it onto the front page of your profile, I would also do a PDF here because then you won't have those version control issues. They'll be able to see your resume exactly how you have formatted it and you want it to appear. I talk a lot, and I have other videos that I've shared, and I've talked to a lot of clients about having a resume that's applicant tracking system compatible. So when you apply online for positions, it can do what's called parsing, which is automatically populate the fields of your online application, that it can do that easily and save you from a lot of manual entry and moving things around. But also there are several elements we add to our resumes that actually block them from a lot of applicant tracking systems and prevent them from being read. So no human gets a chance to actually review your resume. And I have a lot of information in my job search playbook and other videos about that. So I don't want to take up too much of your time here. But I will say that you can be more creative on the resume that's attached behind the scenes to your profile. If you have tables or multiple columns or I still don't think pictures are a great idea, but that's my personal opinion. Icons or various elements that I typically preach not to put into a resume if you want it to be applicant tracking system compatible, you can get away with putting that here. So if you have two versions of your resume, the boring one that's ATS compatible, and then a more engaging one that's visually appealing and maybe looks like a graphic designer made it, you can use it here, and that could be the best of both worlds. When your resume is attached behind the scenes to your profile, just like this, in this section, only people who have recruiter access to LinkedIn can see it. And when you do what's called Easy Apply to apply for positions online, you will hit one button and it'll pull this resume here. So it is possible to have multiple versions of your resume, but whichever one is listed first is the one that's going to automatically be sent along with your profile to apply for positions. That's fantastic, especially if you're applying to high volume of positions and you just want to be able to do it quickly, or you're trying to do it from your phone and maybe it's during your commute, or you're multitasking, or you're watching TV or watching a kid activity. There's definitely a cost benefit analysis. It's fast, it's easy to do that. The downside is that you can't customize your resume to align with a particular job description. And it's almost always a best practice to do that, to apply, to customize your resume and your cover letter for a specific position that you're applying to show the company and the recruiter that you have read the description, that you're a really good fit, to personalize the cover letter with the date, with their company name. There is no cover letter option when you do the Easy Apply. And you also lose the ability to make sure you're going to score well on keyword searches if they're going to then take your resume and put it into an applicant tracking system. I'm going to show you what that Easy Apply option looks like. I'm going to click over here on jobs, and I'm just going to go over to a search that I've done for a client. I'm just going to scroll through some of these positions and see. If I click apply, it's going to try to send my profile to this candidate. And then sometimes it will take me into an online job posting, and sometimes it will try to send the resume that I have attached. Again, it's fast, it's easy. It's not often effective because there are other candidates who have taken the time to customize their application and their cover letter for that particular role. I did not mean to click on that. Let's get back. Find the Easy Apply option. It will apply on LinkedIn. Will take you to a short application. And I'm not seeing any right away, but it will be this blue button right here that will allow you to apply quickly. Now, as someone who's done recruiting in the past, and I still do with some of my business clients now, when positions are posted, they're almost always listed on the company's website. And if the recruiter gets a good number of candidates through their website, in their applicant tracking system, they may never come back to LinkedIn to look at the people who applied through LinkedIn. And that is something that's not very well known. So if you see a position that you're interested in, I would recommend that you take the time to go out to the company's website and actually apply through their website, customizing your resume and your cover letter to match that specific posting. Yes, I know it takes more time, but it also makes you a stronger candidate, and it may shorten your time to be in the job search. There are also a couple schools of thought that if you've gone to the company's website while you were there, you probably did a little bit of research about the company. So they assume that you know a little bit about their culture and that you've determined it's a good fit. You've done your homework, versus people who have just applied to maybe hundreds or thousands of positions on LinkedIn. And like I said, if they get a good manageable pool of candidates to their website, they may never come back to LinkedIn to look at the applications, because there are more than likely two different accounts that they have. They're looking at the positions that have come in through their website, and that's their main applicant tracking system. It's scoring, it's ranking the candidates, it's doing a workflow management to help them move candidates through different screening processes and sending them to hiring managers. Their LinkedIn recruiter account is separate. And 9 times out of 10, it is not flowing into their company's ATS system. So the recruiter is going to have to intentionally come back out to LinkedIn to look at the people who have applied. And in this job market, they probably don't have to. So I would almost always recommend that you apply directly from the company website. But sometimes you will discover that the job isn't posted on the website. If that's the case, that means they really do want you to apply through LinkedIn. So it just takes a second to toggle out to the company website, see if the job is there. If it isn't, apply through LinkedIn, call it a day. If your resume is there, it should be a pretty easy process, and then you can move on to the next one. So we've talked about the pros and cons of having your resume on the public portion of your profile. I showed you how to post your resume on the what I call behind the scenes of your LinkedIn profile, which I think is a very good idea so that recruiters can find you. I generally don't recommend putting your full resume on the front side of your LinkedIn profile. And we talked about the pros and cons of applying and using the easy apply option. So I covered quite a bit of ground for you. I hope that was helpful. As always, I encourage you to reach out to me on social media if you have any questions or there's anything else that I can do to help you in your job search. I wish you the very best. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.